everybody. I'm Kate Conroy.
And I'm Vanessa Vitello.
And this is Other People's Business, which is the podcast from the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, which is the largest business association in the country. It's amazing. For more info on us, visit njbia.org. We release a new episode every other... Well, it was going to be every other Wednesday.
Well, it's always every other. Yeah. You know what's funny about this? We actually said in our last episode that we were going to move it to Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then we said, wouldn't it be funny if we just said, screw that, and just continued doing it on Friday? Because of the holidays and, we were on vacation and stuff.
Yeah.
This is being recorded on the date it should have come out.
Correct.
So it'll come out Friday, and then next time we promise Wednesday.
Right. Barring any issues.
Yeah.
Shout out to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance. They provide home, auto, and workers' comp insurance, and they are the official sponsor of the show, so check them out if you need some insurance.
All right. So this is the part where I jump in and do housekeeping matters, but I don't feel like doing that right now, so forget it.
Okay.
Watch the show on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, it's all there. Rate us, review us, all that.
If they're listening, they've already found us somehow, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know how to get to us by now. I mean, we shouldn't. Eventually, I'll get back to this. I just don't feel like doing it right now because we have a certain amount of improvisation that we have to do in this episode, and I know I'm going to screw it up if I try to inject it into this.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we wanted to do an update because in the last episode, we talked about things you should never get kids. We actually talked about the drum set for a 3-year-old, and we talked about Mozart, doing his first symphony at the age of 3. Turns out it was 9. I looked it up. He wrote his first opera at 4. But along those lines, for Christmas, my brother, who is apparently a sociopath, got my daughter this. All right?
Oh my God.
This is heinous. Okay? So I wanted to see how your holidays went. I'm going to introduce our guest real quick so she can join in. Nicole Plath of Fortune Title.
Wow.
So anyway, this is going away.
God, I want that chicken.
Forever.
I think you could probably have it. I think that you could
That's how
probably
my
have
holidays went. How did everything go for the two of you?
Wow.
I don't know that anything tops that chicken.
Yeah.
No.
Mine went great. I have family up from Florida, so that's been wonderful. And they've been staying with me, and we've been eating mass amounts of food. So the holiday 10 is becoming the holiday 20 pretty quickly. So.
Yeah, I've been there. I was in Minnesota, and it was amazing. Because I visit my parents. I see them twice a year now. And when I go, it's like a food frenzy. It's a feeding frenzy. All my favorite foods from childhood, whatever. Oh my God.
Is Minnesota known for any specific kinds of food?
I mean, wild rice.
Wild rice? Okay.
Yeah, my mom makes this really amazing wild rice casserole. But it's it does sound good, but the ingredients are, it's cream of mushroom soup and some celery, and it's really basic, but you put it together and you bake it, and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, so it's funny you say that, the food though, because the day before I flew back to New Jersey, I came downstairs and my jeans were, it's getting tight. And I said to my mom, I was like, what do you think about heading to the Mall of America today just for some cardio? And she was like, I was going to suggest the same thing. So the Mall of America is 20 minutes away from where my parents live, and I swear, it's the largest mall in America, I think still. And we did each floor twice. We spent, I think, less than $20 each. We didn't do any shopping at all. Right. We just did cardio, and it felt amazing.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say it was Better Call Saul. They had the senior citizens doing the power walking around the mall. That was you guys?
Totally, yeah, it was. It totally was.
How big is it? I mean, I've never been, so I don't know. Miles?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
And in the center of it is an amusement park.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a big square, and at each corner is a department store. And Nordstrom's is one, Macy's is one, Sears is one. I can't believe Sears still exists out there because they closed
they
them all.
Almost didn't. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Really?
And then there's a giant.
Well, there was a
Marriott.
buyout apparently at the last minute. They were going to
There
go.
was?
Yeah, it was going to be a Toys R Us situation, and somebody from I'm not familiar enough with this story. That somebody on the board of Kmart, something like that. I'm going to be wrong. Don't listen to me. But this happened. Somebody came in and they accepted the bid, and so Sears is okay now.
Sears is all right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I feel I like that. Sears was an institution. Do you remember the Sears and Roebuck catalog when you were little?
No.
Yes, I remember
You're
Sears.
too young.
Yeah.
Shut up. You remember, right?
I do.
Yeah.
We have a Sears by my house that is one of those places where appliances that got beat up on their way to somebody's house go.
Yeah.
So you go there and you get a fridge for half off and it's got a dent on the side that no one will ever see.
Exactly. Totally.
So as long as that store stays open, I don't care what they do with
Yeah,
Sears
yeah.
because that's where I go for all my appliances.
I think I support that decision. I love it.
All about the discount.
It is all about the discount. I totally agree. But yeah, I remember like every year at, I don't know, September, October, the Sears and Roebuck catalog would come out, and it would be everything, but the toy section is that's why they were delivering it, because they wanted the kids to be able to like look through the catalog and circle the things so that their parents would be able to buy it. How does that work now?
Amazon?
No, but like the kids who don't go to, are there any kids that don't go to Amazon, or do all kids just go to Amazon and get the stuff they want?
See, I don't know. I don't know how it works when you've got, I mean, my daughter is like less than 2, so she's not
you're
picking
not in it
anything
yet.
out yet, but like, yeah, I don't know how it's going to work. I'm sure at some point she'll just come up to me and be like, I want this.
They know what they want.
They'll add it to your cart, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Just talk to the Alexa and be like, just order this. I'm going to have to figure out how to mitigate against that,
Yeah, I wonder if there's like parental controls.
I'm sure there are. I just don't know how
You
it
should have a
works.
password protect everything. Like everything I have is password protected.
Yeah.
Because I have 11, 9, and 8-year-old.
Right.
So like the Xbox has passwords,
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, like everything. So they can't do anything unless I put my password in.
But then how do they not hear the password?
You don't say it.
But
you
to
type
Alexa,
it in.
you would
You
say
type
it,
it in.
right?
You're not- I don't talk to Alexa.
Oh, well, then your Alexa is just collecting dust. I don't know.
Alexa and I are not friends. I don't talk to Siri either.
Sure.
Wow. Okay, so
Hey, Skynet is a real situation, We're all
okay, you said that one time, and I just pretended like I knew what that was, but I really don't.
You never saw the Terminator?
Oh,
think so.
So, like-
that is Skynet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I guess I didn't.
First of all, you should totally
I
see
think
the Terminator.
The
You
original
haven't
with
seen the
Arnold
Terminator?
I don't know how you sleep at night. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I
The
did because I
original
saw
Schwarzenegger.
Terminator 2 with Bad
Sure.
Cop,
Oh,
Evil
yeah,
Cop,
yeah,
right?
okay.
So I definitely saw the first one, but I don't
Okay,
remember anything
all right.
about
So
Skynet.
Skynet is the computer company that, develops an artificial intelligence that winds up taking over the world.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I was thinking it was a James Bond thing, like
And that was
Skyfall.
1984 when artificial intelligence wasn't anywhere near as crazy as it is today. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have that creepy robot that like has interviews and is gonna kill all of
Yeah,
humanity.
exactly.
Yeah, she's scary.
Yeah.
What are you talking
You
about?
haven't seen like the AI? They have an AI that like talks in interviews, and it's.
I saw the movie.
No, this is an
Machina.
actual artificial intelligence robot with a face and like expressions,
No.
and she is so creepy, and you need to YouTube her.
And then there was the other one that won at Jeopardy for, however long. Watson. No, was it Watson? Yeah, Watson, right?
Oh my god, that was a thing?
Yeah, that was the thing.
I remember hearing the word Watson in
Yeah.
relation to Jeopardy, but I didn't pay enough attention.
They put a computer on Jeopardy and it killed us, all right? Because of course it would.
It's a computer.
Of course, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, we have an icebreaker, right?
Right. I feel like we could just keep going.
Yeah.
we should like get back to the script because I worked really hard on it.
I know. Yeah.
All right, Nicole, I know that you're a foodie.
Yes.
Okay. How long do you keep leftovers in the fridge?
Oh, well, that depends on what it is.
Okay, but
No more than a week.
Okay.
Like a week is the max that you can go.
Thank you. That's kind of what I was thinking too, but I have a friend who recently was like, the FDA says 3 days. And I was like, 3 days?
We will be here for an hour if we talk about the FDA.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass on that one.
Fair. That's fair. Okay, I support your decision to pass on that. So no more than a week. That's kind of what I was thinking too.
No
week.
more than a week, but a week, and you do the sniff test.
Yeah, obviously.
like with anything else. And if
Totally.
it's fish, I could say 3 days. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe 1 day, 2 days. I really try not to do leftover fish at all.
Maybe just not eat fish.
Or
Yeah.
just eat it fresh and
Yeah.
then finish it. No leftovers, but I guess it depends. But no more than a week.
No more than a week. What about you?
I don't know. I've gotten really into that kind of thing. So the problem, all right, so if there are leftovers in my fridge, I've probably forgotten about them. That's my problem, is that I put it in there and I totally intend to eat it, and then you forget what's under that aluminum foil, and then like a month from now, you look at it and you go, oh man, that would have been nice to
Why aren't
finish
you
that. That was
Tupperwaring
really
so you
good.
can see what you have?
See, but even then, things get pushed back, like the new thing comes in there and covers it or whatever. Or I just forget, you see like this brown mass,
Yeah.
through the opaque Tupperware or whatever you want to call it, and you just forget what it is. Or like you remember for a day and then you forget. So yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah.
I'm also getting really into this in terms of like while it's still out, they say that if meat is out for 2 hours in room temperature, it should get thrown away. And nobody ever
Really?
follows that. So
I just feel like that's not true.
yeah,
how
I
could
don't
that
know.
possibly-
Apparently, that's a thing.
Well, you mean like raw meat or
no,
cooked meat?
should not be out.
Cooked meat?
Yeah.
What's going to happen to the cooked
Think
meat?
about like a barbecue where like the food is just out all day. Like great for the first couple hours, and then apparently after that, inedible. So I've been trying to stick to that.
I feel like we've all been eating stuff that's been out for more than 2 hours for centuries.
I know. Now
nobody's died yet.
Yeah. Many people have died.
Many people have died, but not from eating a hamburger that's been out for 3 hours.
I'm sure we could Google a horror story.
I'm sure you're going to find it somewhere on the Google, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks to an earlier conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was okay. So I'm just gonna go off the rails. So I've been binge watching Grey's Anatomy because I needed to catch up because I was doing other things in the last couple of years, and they had a girl who had a ball of worms in her stomach. She came into the hospital with like a stomach ache. I know, and they were like, she was like horrified with herself. She was like, "I'm so disgusting. This is awful." Ugh. And they were like, no, it's not that huge of a deal. Yeah, they're gross, but you could have gotten this really from like eating an apple that you hadn't washed, and the larva was just on the apple. And I literally was like, no more apples, no more fresh fruit. Okay, I guess we have to live without fresh fruit from now on.
It's all frozen lunches and fruit roll-ups from here on.
Seriously, stick to the canned soup, the frozen dinners, and the popcorn and the chai lattes, and I'm done. That's it. I'm out.
Yeah, because I do that like almost every day. Like almost every day, I just grab like an apple or an orange or something from the bowl in the house, and I never wash them. Sometimes I wash them. But
I almost never.
Not diligently enough that apparently I'm accurately avoiding
I buy
this.
organic. There's no need to wash.
I feel like that's not true.
I think that's inaccurate.
I feel like that's
I feel like if anything, we're probably in more jeopardy.
No,
from, like,
it's organic.
Totally
There's
au
no,
natural.
there's no poison on it. There's no chemicals on it. That's all I'm worried
But
about.
there's larva.
Chemicals, right?
There's
Like,
larva. Your
Yeah,
logic
but-
is flawed.
Okay, but like you've probably eaten lots of bugs and you just don't realize it because you're sleeping and they're like,
They didn't give me a
how
belly full of
life-threatening?
worms, though.
Yeah, how life-threatening were the
You're
worms?
right, and it's horrifying and horrible. At the
right,
same
and then
time,
there's like
but-
bed bugs and
Let's not.
you have like little like mites on your eyelashes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little living creatures
they
that are
live among
tiny
us.
in your eyelashes. I know it's
Yeah.
horrifying. Speaking of bed bugs, do you want to share your thing?
Yeah, so actually when we were talking about this earlier,
Our conversations are just as bizarre offline as they are on.
it's hard to like talk about this now without the context, but like what we were doing was going through the possible awful or awesomes for later in the show, and one of them was going barefoot. And she was talking about an episode of John and Kate Plus 8 where like the kids weren't allowed to walk around on the carpet in the motel because of like whatever's on the
Right,
carpet.
she was like, this is a motel. Do you know what's in this carpet? Of course my kids are wearing socks. And when I first saw that episode, it was like an epiphany. I was like, I will never go barefoot again. Anyway.
So yeah, you were saying like, you now like are much more conscious about that when you go to motels and stuff. And I'm like, well then don't go to any motel where you wouldn't risk, your bare foot on the carpet because, you get in the bed, it's just as bad. Like, so I was telling her like every motel, every hotel, I've never really stayed in a motel.
I haven't stayed in a motel
But every hotel, I don't care how nice it is, like I'm checking for bed bugs the second I get in the door. Like
Do you
I
do
put my
that?
stuff down on the table.
Do you like
I
take
get
a
the
flashlight?
with my phone.
I've never
and
done
I start
that.
going around.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm terrified
what
that that's going to happen. Like one of our coworkers, I won't name
you
the
stay
name
at
because
really
this is
bad
kind of
hotels?
gross. No,
Like if
it
it's
can
a
happen
really
anywhere.
No,
Anybody
not
can
a
come
really
into
nice
a hotel.
I feel like
and,
a 4-star hotel's not going to have that.
I agree.
I agree. You would think
agree.
that.
I want to live in my bubble.
Exactly.
You're not gonna get
That's why I'm
bed
eating my
bugs.
fruit and
I'm going to eat my organic fruit and live in my bubble and not get worms.
exactly.
Bed bugs. Gross. Okay, well that was a fun icebreaker.
Oh, so I guess we're on to the next thing. So the
think
next thing
so.
is tell us what you do at Fortune Title.
What do you do?
What do I do? So I am the CEO of Fortune Title Agency. Yay.
That's exciting. It's
It
a
is very
nice
exciting.
title.
It's a nice title. What do I do? Everything. I do mostly business development, long-term strategy, contract negotiation. I manage a sales team, keep everything going. Everything. Anything and everything.
That's hilarious. So I'm the CEO. I just keep everything going.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Essentially.
Essentially, I just keep everything kind of going. No, I like that.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
So I started with my dad in 2008. It's my father's company. He started it in 2000. I went there temporarily to have a life change. That worked out really well. I never left. And I probably started managing the office in 2009 and really running everything by 2012, 2014 is when I became like CEO.
Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, for anybody who doesn't know, what does a title agency do?
Okay, nobody knows what a title agency does.
That's why I asked.
So I will give you my lingo from the American Land Title Association, who helped us, explain to consumers what title insurance is, and we provide peace of mind by protecting your property rights.
Ooh.
Doesn't that sound nice?
Beautiful.
Very nice. So basically, we insure your right to owning a piece of property. Right? So when you buy a piece of property, we look in all the records and make sure that the property transferred successfully from one person to another and that there's no liens on it and nobody's going to come after you for anything. And then we say, here's your seal of approval and you have your property, and if anything comes up, I got your back.
So I thought you were talking about all right, so I build a fence and it's 6 inches onto the other guy's lawn.
Oh, that's called an encroachment.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody knows that term. So, but yeah, that's kind of handled with title insurance. So let's say you bought a house, right?
Sure.
And you decided not to get a survey, which is a very silly thing to do. Please always get a survey.
Of course,
okay, but you didn't get one. Who knew? And then you realize that your neighbor's kind of hanging out on what you think is your property. Your title insurance would kind of cover that. The report of title would say, hey, this is where your property ends and where the neighbors begin, and maybe the neighbor has a right to use a piece of your property. That would also come up in your title report.
Can you imagine the awkward conversation you'd have to have with somebody to be like, look, according to the survey, you are 1.5 feet on my property, that area grass right there. Could you just back it up 18 inches or so?
Remove the concrete from the ground, push that fence back just a teensy.
I'm not even talking about that. She was saying hanging out.
Oh, hanging
just
out. Yeah, you're
hanging
right.
out on the grass, but you're just maybe 18 inches to
That's
the
actually my
left of
property.
where you need to be.
You just move it a little bit that
Yeah,
way.
exactly. A little bit more-
Seriously.
Yeah.
Or can you get title insurance after you've purchased, or is that a pre-existing condition and you have to, what if you don't?
It's like health insurance.
Right.
It's not like health insurance.
Okay.
So title insurance is optional. So at the time that you buy the house, you don't have to get title insurance,
Okay.
right? You're not required to, okay?
Right.
But then you're also, that's silly, don't ever do that.
Right.
But then you're also not protected. So afterwards, you can purchase title insurance, but it's going to be good from that date forward. And if something happened that wasn't cleared up when you bought the house, it's kind of on you, right? So when you take ownership of a property, anything that's attached to that property becomes yours. So if you didn't get title insurance at the time of purchase and somebody didn't look and check everything to make sure that you were getting what we would call clear title, means nothing's wrong with it, here's everything's all good, then you would be responsible for those things.
Wow.
All right, so that's from the residential side. So most of our listeners are businesses, right?
Yeah.
That's our members. So how does this work for a business? Because, I'm assuming we're not putting up fences around most businesses. So
Well,
maybe.
I'm
I don't
going
know.
to give you my dad's favorite thing to say, which is title is title. So what applies residentially for the most part also applies commercially, right? So commercial, I feel like you actually have a lot more skin in the game because you're dealing with usually much higher values, and all of these things are a lot more important, and you want to know zoning and what are you allowed to do, and where exactly is your property depending on what you want to do with it. So it becomes increasingly important. Yeah. But
Very cool.
Yeah, but very similar things could apply. You could still have encroachments. You could still have easements where people have,
Yeah, I guess we have a parking area in the back or something that was always under, contest. People are always parking, and it's always who owns that, who doesn't. I guess this would be the kind of thing you'd cover.
Yeah, I thought we don't own it, but we
Probably not,
sometimes park there anyway. And,
Oh, so we're the ones leading. Okay. I thought it was the other way around. I think we're parking in our area.
Scratch that. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
well, it's almost like a potato thing, though, right? So, let's say you do own it and you're allowing other people to park there. You might have given them an easement, which is basically a document that says, hey, I'm allowing you to use this part of my property. So it could go either way. It's very scintillating, sexy, exciting stuff. Title insurance. Yeah,
It sounds like that. Yeah. I'm actually thinking, possession is 9/10 of the law. Are there any...
Is that a real thing? People always say that.
Isn't it?
Is it though?
So I'm not going to get this right because when it comes to the business, I'm definitely more of the business side of the business, and my dad is the title guru. But there is something in title insurance where if you kind of squat on a property for long enough, it becomes yours. If the owner doesn't contest it and you're actively using it, you can. It then
Really?
becomes
You can
your
create a
property.
title?
Yeah. Well, you actually take ownership of it because it was uncontested usage for a period of time. And I wish I knew the details, but I Don't remember the period of time, but
like,
it is a thing, I promise.
So like you're driving around and you see like an abandoned office building or factory or something
I
like
like that place.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Yeah.
hang out there
Exactly.
for like years. This is like over years.
years.
It's probably, I think it's like 10 to 20 years or something ridiculous.
wow.
It's not like, I'm going to hang out there for 6 months. It's mine now. I put a
So
flag
like,
in it.
yeah, I got to put like a sign on the wall and nobody's got to come by and be like, hey, take
Right.
that sign down.
Right.
For years.
For like years.
It's like common law marriage.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Very similar.
Interesting.
Rare, but very similar.
Sure.
And believe it or not, there's still like sometimes you'll come across a piece of property that like it's not owned by anybody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with the abandoned factory kind of a...
No. Like it was never owned by anybody.
Never.
Like it's
Okay.
not on any title documents.
So like we're not even talking about a structure, we're talking about like a plot of land. That
land.
just
Title
no one
insurance
owns.
insures land, not
Okay.
structures, right? So we insure the land that the buildings are on, but like not the building.
Sure.
So it's all just property.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, it's a really interesting field. Like I never thought I would get into it because I'm third generation, so I didn't want to have anything to do with title insurance or title abstracting because when I was younger, I used to hang out in Hudson County Courthouse with my mother and my grandmother and color in tax maps. And I'm like, I'm not ever doing this as a profession. And, ended up in it, long story short, because my daughter, when I had my daughter, the hours I was working were just really long, and I wanted to make a life change and do something more flexible so I could have more time with my kids, and said, Daddy, can I have a job for like a little bit, and I'm just gonna hang out, and I'm not gonna stay, I'll just do whatever you need, and
That's great.
yeah.
Our last episode, actually, we were talking about
Yeah.
that. Like, family-owned businesses and, like, I don't want to say the pros and cons, but, like, the
Yeah.
idea of, like, there's the idea of always knowing what you're going to do, and then there's the idea of being like, am I really doing this because
Yeah.
so-and-so before me and so-and-so before them did it, So you lived that.
Yeah, so I I'm going to do my own thing. I was very determined to just like do my own thing and have my own way. And, but, after being there probably wasn't even a year that I was there, and was like, Daddy, I'm like, if we did this, I'm like, this could make this better. I'm like, and Dad, if we did this, and, finally I was just like, at the end of the day, what I really love and am passionate about is business, right? And business is a business and a widget is a widget. And to be able to take, my father is amazing, best dad ever. Like, I'm very blessed with my family. My dad put me through college. My dad helped me with my master's degree. I had a program at ADP, my prior company. So, like, he really helped me through all of that. So to take all of that education and apply it to his business and to see, like, actual returns on his business and to be able to help him has been, like, nothing short of awesome.
That's amazing. Wow, what a great story.
Speaking of awesome, right?
Speaking of awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to take a quick break unless you have anything else you want to add.
No.
All right.
Then we'll be right back with Awful or Awesome.
We will. Okay, welcome back. It is time to play Awful or Awesome, which is a game where I'm going to name 3 things in quick succession, and we each have to declare, if you will, if it is awful or awesome, and defend your answers. Are you ready?
Ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First up is jigsaw puzzles.
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go with awesome-ish. Awful.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
explain.
All right, so I used to have fun with puzzles. When I was a kid, you get puzzles and it works.
Yeah.
And then when I want to say in like middle school, I got one of those Puzz 3Ds. Do you remember them? Like,
Yes.
Awful.
Yeah.
They're
awful,
impossible,
right?
aren't they?
Yeah, and like, of course, the one I got was the Millennium Falcon because I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
I love Star Wars.
Exactly.
Nice.
So like the Millennium Falcon on the box, they list the difficulty, was labeled super challenging. And I'm like, whatever. I've been doing jigsaw puzzles since I was a kid.
I got this.
But I probably should have started at like the White House or whatever, like something simple.
Yeah.
Because it took me something like 10 years to put the Falcon together.
I didn't
and it was
mean to
like
laugh.
me,
Sorry.
my brother, a group of friends, and we would cycle
years.
through like every so often. And I'm not saying we worked on it like every day, but
Yeah.
you put it down for like a few months, you look at it for like an hour, and you're like, no. So like we finally finished it in college, but like the other one I was going to mention, the other great puzzle of my life, about a year ago, my wife Tara went to like the dollar store and came back with this jigsaw puzzle. And it was a painting, like a jigsaw puzzle of a painting, where it was various shades of beige.
Oh,
So
yes.
like, you couldn't like put things together and be like, all right, that probably goes with that because they're the same color and that, you know, like, and then because it was like this cheap dollar store thing, not to say that things from the dollar store are cheap, but like, let's just say.
Certainly not
in this case. Basically every piece could fit together with every other piece. Like it wasn't definitive like, okay, yes, that definitely clicks together. It was like, all right, they kind of go together.
It's a fail. That's the whole point of a jigsaw puzzle.
Exactly. Like there needs to be an objective, this fits, or it does not. Oh, yes. And this didn't have that.
That's just a poorly constructed jigsaw puzzle.
Exactly. Yeah. So like there was no way for us to, we got like maybe a third of the way through. It sat on the dining room table for like 3 weeks or so, and then we finally just threw it away. We're like, I can't take this stress in my life anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dollar store puzzle, right? She paid $1 for it, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I feel like that should not be the puzzle by which you judge all other puzzles.
I know.
I agree. So, okay, in Minnesota, it occurred to me in Minnesota recently that it is a very different place to grow up. Like, the morning that I flew back to New Jersey, my mom and I were sitting in the dining room putting a giant puzzle together, listening to Christmas music, and I'm like, this is the most wholesome thing I have done probably since I moved away from Minnesota. But that's like...
That happens in Jersey.
Does it?
Yes, it did at my grandmother's house.
Oh, thank God, because I'm like, what on earth? I just don't... Okay, good.
My grandmother had a giant, like, board that the puzzle used to sit on. So
like a cutting board?
Yeah, not like a cutting board, like really hard cardboard almost, right?
Okay,
so so it was just like almost like the table for the puzzle. And there was always a puzzle going on at my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
And everybody would come in and like people would just like randomly put the pieces on, and then when it was time for dinner, she would pick up the puzzle board and put it somewhere else, and then we would all have dinner.
Is that a thing that you can buy, a puzzle board?
I want one. I have no idea what I just call it a puzzle board, but like we need to ask the Google because I need to get one because I want to start this tradition for my kids.
Yeah.
Because we were always playing puzzles. So
my
would
mom
have puzzle and Christmas music in like, you know, Bloomfield, New Jersey. So it happens.
I lived in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Did you really? We have so got to
I cannot believe we're not friends yet.
I know. We are officially friends now.
Absolutely.
There's a lot that went on off the air.
Oh my God. We're like sisters now.
I know. I feel like we've known each other forever.
This is amazing.
You could probably get away with just Googling or getting something kind of like it. Like, I'm sure it doesn't have to be like...
You're probably right. But I know that my mom had to like rush and finish a puzzle in order to be able to use the dining room table for Christmas. And then as soon as it was cleared off again, like the day after Christmas or a couple days, she like had a new puzzle out. She was waiting to get back at the table.
Oh my God, my grandmother always had a puzzle going.
And she had a puzzle board.
I know.
We need to look into that.
We do.
Okay. Next one, whistling.
I don't know, I can't whistle.
No, it's horrible.
That's a like strong reaction.
I cannot deal with whistling. I don't know what it is. It's nails on a chalkboard for me.
Really? Like all whistling?
All whistling. It makes me crazy.
So just the sound of it.
The sound of whistling makes me want to like just...
Even with
but
a whistle.
But the chicken was okay.
The chicken's fine. I can deal with the chicken. I could literally deal with nails on a chalkboard. I cannot. I don't know what it is about whistling.
Even like at a game with a ref who has a whistle?
No, that's not whistling.
It's a human
that's a whistle.
Only,
it's a human whistling. If it's like in a song and they're a really good whistler, like okay, but like somebody just, and maybe it's because I can't whistle either, and this is subconscious.
You mean like somebody failing, whistling badly?
No, even if just whistling. Just don't whistle.
I have so many questions. So when you whistle a song, it's different from when you like do the. I can't do it.
Okay, that whistle, I'm okay with that whistle.
Okay.
I have friends who can do that whistle.
My mom can do it.
And
it's
I'm like,
very impressive.
do the
Even though
whistle.
that was supposed to be annoying, right?
It
like,
is.
You're supposed to be like, all right, everybody quiet down because I'm doing this whistle.
That's a getting the attention whistle.
Right,
yeah.
Not the like, oh, I'm just going to whistle fun whistle. Like, no, shut your...
Yeah.
No whistling. No whistling.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. No whistling.
No whistling. You can hum.
Yeah.
I can't do the whistle.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't even have a good reason for it. It's just...
I've accidentally done it like once or twice, and then you try to duplicate what you did, and it doesn't work.
I can't whistle either. It's pathetic. My attempts are terrible. But I'll find myself whistling through my teeth while I sing along to a song. Like I'll be humming along, and then I'll start to like.
But you've done that for me, and it's not whistling. Like,
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not really whistling.
Do it. Yeah, that's not whistling. That's just like...
Yeah, it's just making a hissing sound.
Yeah.
It's almost like whistle.
It's
high pitchy enough,
you get a little bit of whistly action, but it's not like a...
Whistly action.
little whistle action.
It's like an action figure with whistly action.
That I can't. I'd be like, you were never allowed allowed to have that toy. That toy's not allowed in my house.
But then it wouldn't be a human whistle. Then it would be like the whistle of the ref.
Yeah, of the ref.
Maybe.
All right. Wow. Okay, last one. The Clean Plate Club. And what I mean by that is the mandate from when we were kids to clean your plate because there are starving children in, China or Africa or someplace, awful.
I would go to my friend's mom's house, Tina Rosario, so shout out to my friend TJ, and she called it a happy plate, and we weren't allowed to leave the table until you made a happy plate. Like, that plate had to be gone, Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan,
Yeah.
Like, you eat until you're full, and yeah. These days, I'm just lucky if the food doesn't wind up on the ceiling or something. Like a kid, I found food in her ear once, and it was just like, why? Eat what you want, and then don't play with the rest. So
It's tough.
I feel like she doesn't play with it on purpose. It just sort of ends up everywhere. Because she refuses to let you feed her still, I assume, right?
Yeah.
She wants to feed herself.
Since she was like an infant.
Right, and her motor
That's
skills are
great.
not...
Yeah, she got down to like 19th percentile in weight before we figured out like why she wasn't eating. She had to do it herself, so...
Oh,
yeah.
God
Gotta love
bless
the
you.
independent-
You are raising a strong, independent woman.
I know,
sir.
right?
I know.
Let me tell you, I got one of those. It's a barrel of fun.
I can imagine,
Yeah, I can't
Everything
wait.
has to be done herself. So
Yeah. The picture that you posted of her cake she was asleep in the high chair, like
Oh yeah, cupcake. Yeah.
cupcake. Literally, head, shoulders, like everything.
Yeah.
That's
Cupcake.
amazing. I love that.
And I mean, like living her best life, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta be
You gotta
impressed
live your
by
best
that.
life. You gotta do you.
Yeah, can't really be mad at that. But yeah, Clean Plate Club, not a huge fan. I hate peas. I hated them from the time I was little. And most people were not dumb enough to try to get me to eat them. But every once in a while, I would get the tuna casserole, and there would be a can of peas or a thing of...
And those aren't even good peas. Those are
No!
like the canned, like mushy,
you.
like really bad peas.
Awful.
Like if you're gonna have a pea, that's not
Right.
the pea you want to go for.
And I mean, to be fair, it's not like I threw the plate on the ground or flipped it up onto the ceiling. I ate around the peas.
Okay, that's
It
reasonable.
wasn't good enough.
No.
Those peas sat there until until one of my parents had to be called. And they were like, no, she just doesn't eat those. So just don't do that again.
No, my mother would have made me eat the peas. So like
What?
the Clean Plate Club was like
you had to have the happy
Oh no,
plate.
that was like a big thing. It wasn't happy plate. It was like you have to clean your plate. Like it needs to look like you actually didn't eat. Like
Oh my God.
No, well I'm Italian, so you had to sop up all the sauce with the bread.
Oh
so
my
like it
God.
actually the plate actually looks clean. So I had a very large aversion to lima beans because they're disgusting and nobody should eat them.
I agree.
They are. They're just disgusting.
Okay.
Okay. Name a restaurant that serves lima beans.
Oh, I
Can't.
don't know how to order 'em.
Nothing. Okay,
exactly,
because
yeah.
lima beans are disgusting, and restaurants know better. Nobody's going to order them.
I don't think anybody would order like lima beans off the menu. I feel like that's the sort of
Why
thing
you
they
order
put on the
edamame?
side.
That's a delicious bean.
Do you really order that though?
Yes,
or is that
yeah.
the kind of
Order
thing they put on the
edamame.
It's like a
side?
fancy
Okay, what
appetizer
about
now.
baked beans? When you go to a barbecue restaurant, you have
Okay,
baked
sure.
beans.
Yeah.
There are
baked
plenty of beans. You would be
order
like,
that.
oh, that bean's delicious. I'm going to eat that bean. Nobody
Sure.
says that about
Always
a lima
as a
bean.
side though. Like you're not ordering like, let me get a plate of lima beans. Like,
Well, unless you're vegan. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
maybe.
like,
Yeah.
because of the Clean Plate Club, my mother would not let me leave the table until the lima beans were gone. So I used to swallow them like pills.
Oh my
I
God.
hadn't even thought about that. You don't even taste it.
It's
that
the
way.
only way around it.
Wow.
And it still leaves the little
Somebody's gonna
disgusting
choke because of our
lima
show.
bean.
Well,
No
like we said,
kidding.
kids aren't watching this. So
Thank
it's good.
God.
Yeah.
That's
No,
gross.
we had tricks.
Scarred.
You would grind things up, and
Yeah.
like once it's in like a paste, it's just like debris on the plate. It's not really like peas anymore.
No.
Or
So-
if you're eating, like, I remember cafeteria lunch, if there was something I didn't like, you would finish your milk and then shove it in the milk box.
Yes.
yeah.
So so the cafeteria people thought that you had finished your food.
Totally.
Because I was like, Catholic
No.
school born and raised.
Me too.
So, oh my God, we're so best friends.
I can't believe it. This is amazing.
And so that's what you had
we
to
have a
do.
play date
We
later?
are totally having an adult play date.
so excited. Yeah, so totally shove it in the milk.
Yeah, and that's how
Yeah.
that's how you'd
amazing.
be able to leave the cafeteria.
We're also seeing a lot of food go to the dog these days.
Yeah.
Which gets dangerous because she's getting fed things that dogs really shouldn't eat. Right. So
You're going to have to deal with that later, too.
yeah, fun times.
That's why children and dogs get along so well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's true. All right, I think that's the game.
Sure. So our next segment, I'm not going to say new today. It's new last time.
It's the second time we've used this segment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is one piece of advice that you'd give your younger self? And I feel really bad because we should have told you about this
Yeah.
prior
That's
to right
such
now.
a big question.
Just putting it right on the spot.
Okay.
Like, give us some advice.
Totally
No
forgot.
pressure. I would say probably the biggest piece of advice I can give my younger self is to do what makes you happy.
As opposed to title insurance?
No, I actually love title
See,
insurance.
so
Okay,
like-
that does make me happy.
So it all worked out.
But it did all work out in the end. But I think a big lesson that I've learned over my life, and especially like recently in my life, is not to sacrifice your happiness for the rules society or like your upbringing places on you, because when you really think about it, like these rules are created by us.
Life is short.
Yeah, or by, like society. And it's like, do they really exist? Or like, are you putting yourself in a slot because you think that's what you quote unquote have to do?
Yeah.
And, I think as long as you are, a kind and loving person and you're not doing anything to hurt anybody, like you should be living your best life or living a happy life and, following your dreams and just going for it, whether or not it's something that's like necessarily approved by your parents or your, inner circle or just society in general. Just be happy.
That's really well said.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Thank you. I know, because we're best friends.
We are. I'm so excited that you came on the show.
Me too.
Oh, God. I'll be honest, I was going through the list of people that I had met this past year because we were looking for podcast guests.
Yeah.
And I was just sending out emails like, oh, maybe Nicole will do it. Maybe this guy will do it. Maybe they'll do it. It's so amazing.
I know. Why not? Everything happens for a reason.
It does. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so say somebody, has somebody that's putting up a fence somewhere, or,
Yeah.
like they have a parking space out back that they don't know is theirs or whatever, and they want some title insurance. Now we know, it had to be after, but whatever.
Right.
How do they get a hold of you guys to maybe like look into that?
So our office number is 973-226-6555. But we have a website.
I like how you just spit that out.
I
Like
know.
973-266-35, and I'm going to get it wrong.
No, you already did.
There are
There's no
natural
phrase in
breaks
there.
in this pronunciation of a telephone number, and if
know.
you don't give them, then they'll forget.
I know, but ours is so easy. It's 973-226-6555.
That's amazing.
Okay.
It's like the best.
That's totally not in the da 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 da
I know.
da da da
It's
da.
not,
But I'll
but
give
it's
it to you.
memorable.
I'll give it to you.
It is.
All right.
2266-555.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Easy to memorize.
It's
Yeah.
very easy to memorize. My dad's
do
got a
that.
thing with numbers, so like he picked that number a
He
while ago.
picked it?
Yeah.
You used to be able to do that with Google Voice too, but I think they're phasing that out. So.
Yeah, probably. But we also have a website. We have
hear the website.
fortunetitle.com.
Okay.
You can email us at orders@fortunereo.com.
What does the REO stand for?
Real estate owned.
Okay.
So a lot of our business originated when my dad first started. It was all in the foreclosure industry. So when the bank takes ownership of a property and is now going to sell it again, that's an REO property. It's a bank-owned property. So it's a lot of the work that we do is in that space, as well as residential and commercial.
Excellent.
All right.
It's fun
All
times.
right.
That's our show.
I think that's our show. That was amazing.
This was wonderful.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much for coming on.
Thank you. We're so hanging out.
Oh my God, we are. I'm so excited for the future.
Me too.
Yeah, 2019 is going to be so
It's going to be amazing because we found each other.
Okay, so thank you to our listeners, subscribers. We appreciate the support. Thank you to New Jersey manufacturers and I can never say that. My instinct is to talk fast.
NJM, I have them. They're great.
Right?
See?
Live testimonial.
Love it.
I love New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance.
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
They do home, auto, and workers' comp, so check them out. And thank you to Nicole Plath of Fortune Title. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you
Thanks
for
so
having
much.
me.
My new bestie.
I know.
Yay.
Totes.
Okay, see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.